Jason and Jabari. Jason and Jabari.
What's up, guys? This is Jason from the Jason and Jabari Gaming, and we finally have the long-awaited KANG showcase. This is the ultimate KANG showcase. I have in everything in here, I believe, and we're going to start off with the Crucible, asked by none other than Tobias. He said, Crucible, any fight? I do have all of you guys' requests in here. And we're going to go over each section. We have every aspect of this game in here with KANG. Now, this is a rank 4 KANG. I have the showcase with him at rank 3 and at rank 4. So basically with these nodes, it's like whoever has more buffs can gain a little bit of power, almost like a rich get richer aspect to it. But this Yondu has over 800,000 health. You can only bring in one champion for the Crucible with each fight. This was the first fight, so it was the easiest to do. And there's specific nodes on here, like if you stun him, if you use certain debuffs, it's going to purify immediately, and he's going to regen a considerable amount. So I did not go with the SP1 because that stuns, and so does the SP2. Even though that power drains, there's a stun element to it. I'm not sure why. I wish they would take that part of it out. But there also is Foresight, where if you intercept, you get a super big increase on your attack. So that's why we're taking them down pretty quick. And I opted to go for SP3s because it does a heal block, which actually doesn't do anything to any of the nodes. He will gain a fury buff, but fortunately for us, KANG has an indefinite armor break or armor buff. The only way that that can be removed is through an armor break, which actually he does apply on his SP1, so that's why we're steering clear of its SP1. And then we also have the dexterity mastery set, so then we would technically be winning in the buffs race. So he does not ever gain power in this fight, so KANG works out very, very well. You do have to be on point for your intercepts, which so far we've been on point for our intercepts, as you can see. This is a very long showcase, guys. This was over an hour. I condensed it as much as I could and sped up the fights as much as I could. So this was a lot of footage gained over a lot of time. And I do hope you guys appreciate it and like it. But after this one SP1, he goes down with the utilization of my striker. And there you go, full yellow bar. Crucible is done. Thank you for the request, Tobias. Some of you guys' names I absolutely suck at, so I'm probably just going to say this person out of respect for your name, because I'm terrible at pronunciation when it comes to certain unique names. Jody asked for AQ next, so that is the next stop, guys. We are going to be doing everything at the highest level, actually. So this is map 8. This was what I was running with DSVG. My KANG at this period of time is rank 3. Obviously a rank 4 would hit a little bit harder. I brought in Apocalypse and Elsa. I run path 1, so I'm not going to do every fight with KANG because you get 3 champions, but I do a decent amount of fights with KANG, starting off with this hood where it has bleed vulnerability. Nothing that really applies to KANG, so we just go in there and KANG smash for most of our fights. I was telling you guys that KANG is good in primarily all of the content for MCOC except for Battlegrounds. So AQ he's good for, questing he's good for, Necropolis he's good for long form content. He is good in incursions, which I did do a live stream with Forgotten, which is not in here, guys. I mean, again, this was already over an hour. of a showcase, which is condensed to just barely under an hour. So I didn't want to add in more, but if you are interested in that, I will leave a link to that live stream with the rank 3 Kang, and he brought in his OG rank 3 Thanos, and we had an amazing time. It was lit, and you guys might be surprised because I I smashed it with Kang, in my opinion, but that's for you guys to decide. So we're wrapping up this fight. He's being a little stubborn. This is day 1 of map 8. And for those of you who do not run map 8, day 1 is block penetration up to 5 block penetrations for the defender. Every single time you dash back, they gain 1 charge. All right, so the first fight of path 1 was Reed Richards. I used my Apocalypse to gain the charges, so therefore he couldn't evade anymore. And then the second fight was what's her name, the Invisible Woman, and I think I use Apocalypse there too as well. We take a nice little heavy, which almost kills half of our health. We're against Overseer, so basically if you do the same action twice, then they get an unblockable for duration of time. And as you see, I backed up 5 times, so now he has 5 block penetration charges, which was not good, but it doesn't really matter because we're going to heavy. I don't know why I just heavied there when I honestly should have just went into a combo into SP1 to save myself a little bit of health, but I didn't. Hindsight, right? All right, so next up we have this War Machine on path 1, and we're going to go in with Kang once again. And again, the danger for this fight is his SP1, especially if he's unblockable. I try to do medium, light, mediums, and then heavies to alternate my combos. We'll see how well that works out. I think it works out fine here, but nope, it didn't work out fine there because I did another medium after my medium, light, medium, trying to push him to an SP2. So I immediately go for a full 5-hit combo so I can get to my 2 bars of power. And then after that, I think the fight is fine. I'm going to back off here. And then I'm going to parry into a combo into my striker into the SP1. And yeah, that's game. Oh, well, we didn't get quite to the SP1. So all in all, that path for the section 1 was fine. Minus eating that heavy. Guys, don't eat a heavy. It never goes well. So next up, we're going to go against this mini boss in section 1, and this is a Red Goblin. And this is actually interesting because Red Goblin is power burn immune, but Kang does power drain. So all of you guys who chose OGV or Vision, he does power burn, so he will not work. So Kang's going to show you guys what an L looks like, because you guys would not be able to control his power this fight, but Kang actually can control his power this fight, which is really, really cool. So that's pretty awesome in my opinion. But to be fair, I do love OGV. I'm not a really big fan of the Age of Ultron OGV, but the OGV, I do like him. I do get down with him. And the Deathless Vision, I absolutely do not get down with him whatsoever. He is he's pretty bad in my opinion, but hey, some people love him. All right, so there you go. There's the power control aspect that the Vision fans wish they could do. But anyway, moving on to section 2, we're going to go against this champion here. And I can't remember who I think I took Rhino and Black Cat with Elsa. And I think, again, this is more of a path 1 where basically you repeat the same action. I think they get unblockable. I quickly threw my SP2 there because I did not want to get whacked in the face. That's one of the things you have to deal with champion. But here we just kind of go for it. We go for the SP2 for power control, and that's a 66k crit on the second part of the hit, and he's absolutely dead. And then we're going to move up to the last section of section 1. We're going to start off with this Professor Xavier, and I'm actually going to heal on this fight because it's no longer like it was for the first 2 sections. It's if you do the same, or actually if you don't complete a 5-hit combo, then you get a glancing debuff on yourself. So I'm intentionally not completing my combos to get the glancing debuff on myself, so therefore I can get willpower healing, which significantly slows down this fight. But I was low on health, so for those of you who do run path 1, pro tip: if you do run 1 point, which is all I run, in willpower, then don't complete your combos on the final section of map 8 for path 1 specifically, and you can get willpower healing off of it. I do it normally with my Hercules, because by this point he's pretty low, and if you don't want to use items, this is a good way to do it, and to heal your champions back up. So once again, that's all we're actually doing. Because of the glancing, we're not able to get real hits, so our damage is gimped severely, but that's by design. The only thing you have to watch out with Professor Xavier is he has a built-in falter mechanic, which after his timer runs all the way down, if you don't have someone who could deal with that, then you're going to miss on your hit. And if he is not within the state that he's in, where he channels his energy or something like that after he does a special for a duration of time, then you're going to get punished trying to hit him. There we tried to parry on accident, which caused us to get stunned instead, so we lost some of the health that we had been gradually building up. Not the biggest deal in the world, but something to keep in mind. You don't really want to try to parry them either, because that stun could be reflected to you. At other times you can stun them. I don't really know. I don't really try to stun him, to be honest, that much, so I never really paid attention to the node that causes that. So I don't honestly know which one it is, but if you guys know, you can let me know in the comments below. But yeah, so his timer ran down once again, and as you can see, I'm heavy in every single time, which of course is not a 5-hit combo, so therefore we get the glancing debuff on ourselves. Now every time that we intercept, we're going to get rid of those pierce charges, by the way, because I have talked about them on day 1. It's pierce charges, and then I think on day 2 it's like you got to do a certain action, like a end in a medium, end in a heavy, end in a light, and they built up protection, and then of course the same thing, and they built up furies, and then I think the last day they built up unblockables or something like that. But yeah, down he goes. We got to 84% of our health, and next up we're going to go against the Silver Surfer. And Silver Surfer, when he throws his SP1, it gives you like 3 armor breaks, or if he throws his heavy, whichever comes first, you get 3 armor breaks. So again, free willpower healing. I do screw up this fight, sadly. You'll see somewhere along the line I mess up big time, because he hits really hard once he's built up, once he's ramped up, and unfortunately I make a mistake, which we're all prone to do. So I'm utilizing that willpower healing off of his special ones and off of his heavies. Sadly, you don't get any more. They don't refresh or anything. The only way that you can get them is when they completely fall off, and then he throws another SP1 or heavy. Another thing that we can heal from is from the falter, which I'm going to have to change my strat to because I mess up this fight. It should be coming up at some point. I don't particularly remember when, but for the most part, this is how I actually fight this fight. So far it's going fine. Nothing really going too far left, I guess, but it's about to here in a minute. Yeah, the SP2 throws that off. That was fine. Should be coming up, like I said. But other than that, this is just the generic fighting the surfer. Yeah, so there I accidentally did the stun thing again, trying just to block, and it registered as a parry, and now I'm almost dead. All my health is pretty much all but gone. So now this is where I think I start to yeah, so that I do the heavy intentionally. Now I have double debuffs on me, so I'm healing quite a bit, but I cornered myself, so that was not good. And I'm trying to push him back at this point because I didn't want to be cornered again. I complete my combo there. I'm like, okay, maybe I need to get out of this fight, even though I'm healing a little bit. It's probably not worth it because I don't want to die with Kang. I keep getting caught by our surfer board when he does his medium attack. So that was another factor of just me saying, okay, I really need to get out of this fight before something goes horribly wrong and I freaking die. So yeah, I do my 5-hit combos into the stun lock to kill him, and we get out of that fight, thankfully. The last fight that we're going to do for the AQ showcase is this guillotine. This is the mini right before the CGR boss on the left side for path 1 through whatever. And yeah, so the danger with her is when she gets her soul chain or something like that. Forgive me if I'm saying it wrong. I don't really play the character. Deathless Guillotine I do play a little bit more, and she's actually fun, but the OG guillotine, however you want to pronounce it, I don't really play that often. So she has those chains on her above her head, that dark icon with the red tint to it. So I'm trying not to let her throw another special, so I go for the stun lock, and down she goes. So all in all, like I said, Kang is absolutely viable for AQ, but keep in mind, guys, Kang does need the APOC synergy in order to hit hard. As you can see, I didn't exactly put up the most amount of points for AQ, but I did put up a decent amount. So anyway, moving on to I think this says Cigarlos or something like that. I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name. He was wanting me to do any questing with Kang, so that's what we're going to transition to. We're going to transition to Act 7, the final chapter. So 7-6, or 7-4-6, excuse me. And we're going to go against the superior Kang boss. So first we're going to do the path itself. We're going to do everything with Kang, and on this path, essentially this is rich get richer. We do have the synergies team with us today, which I will have the synergy team when I'm able to with Kang. The synergy team, like a full synergy team. In war we can only have 3 champions, so that will be like the synergy team that I deem the most necessary depending upon the fight, and that's one single synergy, and that is Apocalypse. But for this one, I was afforded the luxury of bringing a lot of champions that can put on pre-fights, so I did, and that was essentially like rich get richer. So I'm constantly gaining more power to always be able to throw specials. Also, when I parry, it takes away from some of their power. It does a power drain on them because I'm a tech champion. So this path is absolute cheese. And then on top of that, when I'm able to parry them, I get a fury, passive fury buff on top of the fury synergies that I get with Kang. So we are absolutely beasting this path. Zero shot that we're going to screw up. MODOK kind of is tricky because he gets that auto block mechanic to him, but even that's not going to save him because, again, we basically keep them in check. I just don't let them throw a special because I don't need to, because every time I parry them, they lose a bit of power. So it's just a fun time all around. It's actually pretty cheesy, but it does work. It does work. Next up, we have Bishop on this path. We got our Bishmon. These champions have a little over 400,000 health. Nothing too crazy, but yeah, man, I mean, the path itself is super simple in my opinion. For those of you guys who haven't tackled Act 7 content, hopefully this is helpful to you if you do like Kang. This Kang is a rank 3 Kang, by the way. I said in AQ he was rank 3. He is still rank 3 right now. Currently, in Crucible, he was rank 4. But so far, he's rank 3 here, and Bishman is dead. All right, so moving on to the next one. We have Overseer, which you guys saw me get absolutely punched in the face by the ultimate Saryukin from freaking Street Fighter by him. So hopefully that doesn't happen again, because that one hurt. But yeah, so again, we're going to do the same strat the entire time. We're basically not going to allow them to throw off any specials, which is why I'm just doing my parries, which is power draining them, and then I'm building up to my SP2. Now, doing it this way, it also gives us time to gain our Fury buffs. Now, parrying in itself gives us the passive Fury. I believe that goes up to 10, but with the APOC synergy, the buffs themselves give us up to 20, and we get a Fury buff every 4 seconds. So I believe in a minute and 20 seconds, we'll be fully ramped up from the APOC synergy. And then next up, we have a Havoc here. Now, Havoc really can't do anything to us. Normally, what you want to do, the way you want to play Havoc, is you don't want to allow him to throw off his SP1s, because that ramps him up faster, and then you'll take a detonation after the red things on you reach 10. But we have a armor up buff that's indefinite, so it doesn't matter what he throws. He can throw as many SP1s as he wants. All those things are doing is serving as willpower healing for us. We'll never take the detonation damage as long as we keep our armor up buff. Now, we can also get rid of those charges by power draining him as well with the SP2. So keep that in mind. And then we have this Hood here as the last final fight before we have the boss fight, I do believe. Again, same strat, nothing any differently. These fights are going very quickly because, I mean, it's just super cheese for Kang here. And if you guys are interested in the synergy team that I did bring along, it was Apocalypse, it was Odin, and then I think I had Archangel and a Wags as well. I didn't use Wags and I didn't use Archangel, but I will on this final fight because I can. So yeah, there's Wags and there's Archangel. Didn't use Archangel. I'm going to switch out Archangel for what's his name, War Machine, because he gives tech champions some synergies. So like I said, in this questing team, I only needed Kang for this path, so I just boosted him up as much as possible. It was not absolutely necessary at all. I could have just went in with Kang and APOC and brought in another team, but for this path specifically, Kang was all that was needed. So I wanted to show you guys something pretty cool, how he can cheese an entire path by himself. Obviously, I didn't need to be boosted. I am not boosted for any of these fights, by the way. The only boosts that I have, quote unquote, are the synergies that I have. Now, in War, I think towards the end, I do boost up, and I will let you guys know, because transparency is important with how I try to do these showcases, so that way you guys aren't being misled. So anyway, the Superior Kang fight, I do kind of screw this fight up a little bit. It was a while since I've taken this fight, but the good news is I did relearn it pretty quickly. Didn't really, I think I had to do it twice or something like that. But yeah, so every time I get him into this weakened state, I actually fortunately get him to the next phase. Not a lot of champions can do that. There are some, but not a lot of champions can do that in every single phase. So fortunately I was able to, and we're not even fully ramped up we only had about 13 or so Furies at the time that we took his first life down. You have to take him down, I believe, 4 times. I'm pretty sure you have to take him down 4 times. And right now, the first couple of times, you just can't repeat the same action twice. So that's what I'm doing. I'm alternating my actions of how I punish him. So here, I punished him after a special, so I don't want to do that again. There, I punished him after a heavy, and then we get him into his weakened state. We throw off the SP3, which actually does some pretty good damage. And then we just keep hitting. I think I throw off the striker at one point. But yeah, we're trying to get him down. He's almost down. The stun timer is going down, but with the SP3s, you don't eat up any time, but you get the damage. So that's why I was doing SP3s there. The time is almost out, but fortunately, striker to the rescue. So that's his second life down. And now we're in the third phase. Now with the third phase and moving forward, you will have 2 actions that you cannot complete. I think there's 4 actions that you can do in total. So one being intercept, another being interrupt his heavy, another being punish his special attack, and the last one being let's see, intercept, punish his heavy, special attack, and the last one being stun. So yeah, those are all 4 that I know of. If there's any more, you can let me know, but I don't believe there is. So yeah, so now you can't do 2 of those actions. So it keeps up with the last 2. And if you don't do it correctly, then you'll get punished instead. So yeah, here we are in the stun phase for it. He's going down nicely, as you can saw. We took some damage. Nothing crazy, but yep, he goes down with being stunned for that phase. And now I think this is the last phase that we have to take down, and we have to do the same thing. So there I got to intercept. Here I think what I'm going to do is stun. All right. And now I'm trying to bait off a heavy because I can't bait a special there. So I bait off the heavy, and now I'm going to bait off the special. And essentially what I'm just trying to do is do 2 actions, right? I'm just trying to do the 2 actions to keep it simple in my brain. So now I'll go back for a stun, and then I'm going to go, I knew I could punish his heavy. So now I can't stun and I can't punish his heavy. So I'm trying to get him to throw off his special. So he does throw it off, thankfully, and then I punish that, and now I know I can stun, and I know I can't punish his special still, so I'm not going to punish this. I don't believe. I think I'm going to try to bait out a heavy here. Yeah, and then get that, and then I go for an intercept, and then that's, so in my brain I know what I'm doing, but I know it can be a little complex for those of you who have not done this type of content, and hopefully this will help you, even if you're not going to do it with Kang, right? Hopefully it'll help you understand and get a better grasp of this fight. And obviously if you're on par with me, you've done this, you already know about it, doesn't really interest you, but the fight with Kang versus Kang might interest you, right? So anyway, here we go. We get the final few hits, and there is the solo. So we get the Act 7 Superior Kang solo. I really hope they come out with the character of Superior Kang, because you guys know how much I love my OG Kang. If they came out with Superior Kang with those animations, your boy would probably be going for him. I'm not saying he'd take over Kang's spot, because I don't think anybody will, but I am saying I probably would love that champion. All right, sadly you guys requested that I do sadly you guys requested that I do Battlegrounds. So first up was Mike, who asked me to do Battlegrounds. Kang is not a Battlegrounds champion. This is a rank 4 Kang, and shout out to Akbar. Thank you so much for taking the time to do Battlegrounds with me on this. This is the current, or actually it's not current yet, but this is weeks 3 and 4 meta for the upcoming Battlegrounds season meta, where if you parry them or you don't punish their special, they can get a passive unstoppable depending on the champion. Like if they get a passive fury or something, or a fury buff, then they'll get a passive unstoppable. And then if they would get another fury, then they get a passive unblockable. And the only way to stop these things basically is to punish their specials, so you can get a grit buff. So there you saw he went passively unstoppable again because I kept throwing the same special. So after that, I decided to switch it up to special 1 and then special 2. So if you throw the same special, they'll get a passive unstoppable. But again, if they already have that passive unstoppable, then they'll gain a passive unblockable. With some champions, that doesn't matter. With other champions, it does. You do get the passive grit buff to deal with the unstoppable, but you don't have anything to deal with the unblockable. So yeah. This is a rank 3 Mr. Sinister. Every fight that I will showcase, which isn't very many, he is punching down. We dang near timed out here. I mean, we got the fight down, yay, but he's not a Battlegrounds champion, and that's okay. That doesn't make him a bad champion. He's actually a very good champion because he can take on every other piece of content, which I will show you guys. But we have someone else who says they wanted to see him in Battlegrounds, sadly. So here we have a rank 3 America Chavez. This is the highest score I will get with him, and there's only one other fight. I did attempt some other fights, but I messed them up so severely that I just didn't want to try anymore. I was like, dude, this is pointless. I think you guys will get the point after this. So here we throw off the special 2, and we're doing decent. She's going down, but it's already been 30 seconds. She's not even halfway down. So I'm actually just going to go for another SP2. Most of the time she's going to be stunned because of his SP2 stun, but the animation itself, it stops it anyway. So anyway, we're going for, I think, yeah, we're going for another SP2 here. Thanks to the use of the striker, we're able to get there, and then I'm able to throw it off. Of course, she's passively unstoppable. I have to back up for a minute, and then I think we end up going for it here. Yeah, I go into the SP1, which I could have done a little earlier, which I didn't do, but we got a 48k score, so actually decent there, but still few and far in between. So lastly, we have this rank 3 arcade, excuse me. Yeah, another gentleman, I can't even say this one's name. He asked for Battlegrounds. So you guys got your Battlegrounds fixed, but I do mess up in this fight. I just simply didn't want to do it over again. This fight, I will tell you, this fight will be about a 45k score. I mess up here on the decks. That's what screwed me up. So I did get a few shocks on me. Other than that, I won't mess up this fight at all. I didn't think it was worth it to go back just to show you that he can get a 45k score like he did with Sinister. It's just, I mean, it takes too long. It's going to take pretty much the whole duration of this freaking fight. And that's, you know, that's just what it is. I have to move back a little bit because I don't want to get myself stunned with his stun trap. He does end up throwing off his SP2, so I take a little bit more damage. I do parry heavy here, which I can do. I think we end up going for the SP2 early there. We have 50 seconds left of this fight. Yeah, it's just a long, I mean, him even punching down, it just takes a while, guys. It just takes a while. So I saw I had like 30 seconds, and I'm like, all right, we're just gonna go for SP2s here. I'm gonna back up to stay away from his trap. Yeah, I do a couple 4-hit combos there. I go for the stun. I think I go for the relic and just barely get to my stun, which does kill him with almost all the time gone. Like I said, we lost some health. With full health, that would have been a 45-8, I believe. So nothing to write home about. But next up, we're going to go long form content, and we're going to start off with this Star-Lord here. I did do a Maestro takedown in Labyrinth of Legends, this is Labyrinth of Legends. I did do a Maestro takedown against Maestro at his strongest form, which is him healing at 10,000 plus every second. So if you guys are interested in seeing that fight and how it's done with Kang at a rank 4, because, well, here Kang is rank 3, but the fight after this for long form content, Kang is rank 4. In the fight that I did against Maestro, Kang was at rank 4. Very impressive fights in my opinion, and I will attach that to the end of this as well. So I'll not only have the live stream that I did with Forgotten with Kang on my end of it, but I'll also have the solo that I did against Maestro while he was healing 10k plus every second. So definitely check those out and help our channel grow. And you know, self-promotion is what we do, right? And guys who don't know, Kang is my favorite champion in this game. I'm not saying he's the best champion in the game, but I am showing you him utilized at the highest level because a lot of people didn't think this was possible. I've invested years into this champion, and I do mean years, ever since he was a 6-star champion for me. When we got to take them to rank 3, I was invested in this champion. So we're talking so many years at this point, it's not even funny, guys. And I've learned a lot, and I've opened some people's eyes to him as well. I'm not saying this is your champion or it ever will be, but I do think it's a good champion. And with the Kang and APOC synergy, I think he's viable at the highest level. So the utility is all Kang, but the Furies make him viable to do Masters Wars and hard content, right? Because it's how hard he can hit. But the utility aspect is all him, and that's what I really like about the champion, is the utility aspect. I know it's not a lot of utility, but it works and it's pretty good. So yeah, and that's what makes the game fun for me, to do things like this for guys like you, or guys and girls, excuse me. And if you don't appreciate this content, that's fine. But if you're going to comment, it would not be beneficial to tell me what another champion can do in a fight. Kang is versing Kang right now. He's not versing any other champion, your favorite champion, any of that stuff. It doesn't really, that's at a moot point. It doesn't matter. You're gonna like what champion you're gonna like, but trying to compare apples to oranges never works. Okay, different circumstances, different synergies, yada yada yada. So if you do like the Kang gameplay, let me know for sure. If you'd like to see me take him somewhere else to where I haven't, which I believe I've covered everything, but if I haven't, then you're more than welcome to leave a comment on what you would like to see, and I'll consider it, and I'll consider doing another showcase later on down the road. But no time soon will I do another Kang showcase, because like I said, this was an hour's worth of him all around the realm, the battle realm, right? And I want to do some other content too for you guys with different champions, more crystal openings, wars coming back. So yeah, you know, I want to do other content too, so I don't want to be just confined to doing Kang, even though he is my favorite champion. Shout out to Superman Blue, because he wanted to see this specific Necropolis fight. Now, Sauron has almost 8 million health, and on this fight, I'm actually fighting. I say that to say I've seen some people do Necropolis fights with Kang, and they cheese it, where they utilize the Green Goblin Striker. And they just basically stun lock them the entire fight. Now, you can do that with certain fights. You can't do them with all Necropolis fights. This is one of them. Why? Because mediums are important to keep that combo going, and mediums here are very dangerous. So the way that I had to approach this fight is to sidestep and light intercept him only, to ensure this it be safe, because he will evade you. And the way that fight worked was sometimes you can push them to 3 bars of power, but you were going to get to your 2nd bar of power, and then you'd be able to fully power drain them. That doesn't work here. Not on this path. On this path, If you use medium attacks, they have a 50% chance to evade you, which is a lot coming from Kabam, because at lesser percentage chances, it seems like a ton. So 50% is almost all but guaranteed they're going to evade you. Also, if you mess up, you could potentially get degen like I did, or if he hits you, you can get degen plus you can get bleed damage depending on his prowess charges. So later on towards the fight, you're going to notice that he is going to throw off his special ones, because I don't allow him to throw off his special twos once the timer gets below a certain threshold, because unblockable, I can't dex his special 2 while rooted. But the special ones, it takes specific timing to dex, and this fight took me like 2 days of trying to get down. Now this is a rank 4 Kang, and I do have all the pre-fights. I'm not boosted, but I do have all the pre-fights. I have the Odin pre-fight, I have the Wags pre-fight, I have the War Machine pre-fight, and I think that's it. Yeah, those 3 pre-fights are the ones that I have. I don't believe there's any other pre-fights that I have. Yeah, there can't be. But so yeah, and I have the Apoc Synergy, of course. So so far we're doing okay. Now when you stand next to him, you can actually parry him because he doesn't gain any distance. But if he has any momentum and he has more than 7 prowess, if you parry him, you're going to take passive bleed damage, which really hurts. So I became really good at sidestepping and punishing with a light, and I became decent at intercepting him with a light attack. But yeah, so anytime he gets to 2 bars, you better believe I'm going to have my 2 bars ready, or a plan to get to my 2 bars. So he is at the point to where if he throws off a special, I'm going to be rooted, and it's automatically going to trigger him being unblockable, which I do get punished there, as you can see, which absolutely sucked. I got the dex timing wrong on the first part of it, and it took up a lot of damage. You don't get very many mistakes against this Sauron here, because he damages you in so many different ways. So yeah, we're down to 47%. And then I get to my SP2, which we are going to use there. And then here I'm just trying to get another opening, which I'm consistently sidestepping, guys. You can go back and slow this down. I do have this fight, as many of these fights, sped up a little bit for time's sake. Otherwise this was a 7-minute, this was a 7+ minute fight. So you guys get the idea. And here, that's important, learning his dex timing, because I don't think with Kang you will be able to out time the second timer to where you will get rooted. So learning the full dex of the SP1 and timing is everything. That's important. There he was still unblockable, and I didn't realize he was still unblockable because the timer was basically gone. But we are hitting like 50k mediums consistently and stuff like that. Note that there is a damage cap, guys. He cannot hit to his full potential because there is a damage cap. But we're consistently doing, on the second hit of its SP2, 117k. If you guys noticed throughout the fight, I just haven't pointed it out as much. But yeah, again, damage cap, there is a damage cap, so we haven't been hitting to our full potential, which you will actually see an impressive number in War, where I believe for that one we are boosted, but in War he can hit really hard. In content where there isn't damage caps, he can hit really hard. I think because he's hitting 117, I believe that's because assassin. But anyway, we're getting him down to 3%. We do mess up again at some point. I should have thrown off my SP1 there. I did not throw it off. I take a combo and then I intercept with my special 2. If I would have just thrown the SP2, we would have had more health. But there you go, Superman Blue. You have gotten your request, my brother, after trying multiple times We finally got the Sauron solo. I have never seen anyone do that with Kang. I could be wrong, but I've never seen it done. It's a very hard fight, and I'm glad I was able to do it. Next up, we have Moonboy, who asked for AW. This is unseen content of the new AW, guys. So what I did was wrote down the nodes for you guys. I showed you guys a display of Kang in the new map once. This is my rank 4 Kang, and I have not released this footage to anybody really yet except for my alliance mates. So this is node 7. We're going to be taking path 8, guys. All fights will be done with Kang. The first 4 fights are going to be unboosted. No, first 5 fights are going to be unboosted. Now this is node 7 with second wind, damage reflection 3, and special burst lockdown 3. This does not apply to Havoc, but that is a rank 3 Havoc there. Again, I've already explained to you guys why Havoc is not a threat. Since he can't shrug off debuffs, we can knock him down. That's essentially why I'm throwing off specials. If I couldn't throw off specials, I'd just hit him until he whittled down, because we're gaining furies and we're hitting harder and harder as we're ramping up. But since we don't need to do that, we won't do that. And then I think here he goes down after these last few combos. Yeah, so less than a minute fight, guys. Keep that in mind, because a lot of people think Kang is slow. He's actually a very fast champion. So that was less than a minute. Next up, we have node 16, which is special burst tranquilize 3. This is actually new to this node. It also has enhanced physical resistance 4, which gives the defender 60% physical resistance, which is actually a lot. It also has aggression fury, so that means every 2 seconds they're going to get a fury passive, and if you don't hit them, those won't fall off, so they can become quite crazy. The reason why this node is dangerous now is because if the opponent throws a special, they put a tranquilize on you, so that means that your parries, Jesus, words are hard, your parries will start to fail and stuff like that, depending on the potency of the tranquilize debuff that you get placed on you. But actually, I think it's a passive. Nope, it's a debuff. I lied. This was the first time I've taken that. Now, Dragon Man was common here because you put on an armor break on him when you used to knock him down. That's no longer the case, but he is gaining power, as you guys can see. So that could present a problem. But you can take his special on the block while he has his power gain, and it'll go away. But again, if he throws a special, we get that tranquilized debuff on us for X amount of time. So this fight can become problematic for sure. But with our power control, which is what we're doing with Kang, we make it a little bit easier. But as you guys will see, there's a tranquilize on us again, so that means our parry is going to start to fail. But what we did was take his SP1 on the block to get rid of his power gain until we were able to build up to 2 bars of power. Now, they have changed the power backs. Even though I'm not running any boost right now, they've changed how the power backs function. So therefore, we could not just cycle special 2s and drop him really quickly. We would have to build back up a single bar of power, because spending 2 bars of power would still give us 1 bar of power essentially. But so far we're doing all right. And here you don't see the stun come up, but we do 100k on the second hit, so that was actually very impressive. But you don't see the stun, which the special 2 does do the stun, but because of that tranquilize, we didn't get the stun, which is why I said we don't even need the stun there. Here we facing that was a rank 3 Dragon Man, by the way. Here we have an ascended Darkhawk. I almost died. This is the closest I've ever come to dying with Kang, because I'm an idiot. I should have used a Wags pre-fight, because this is node 25. It has Thorns 3. It has Be Like Water. And Be Like Water, basically non-damaging debuffs, makes him passively go unblockable for 10 seconds. But if you have the Wags pre-fight, when you parry, it doesn't count as a debuff. So this was completely on me. I apologize to the team. I know I didn't die, but I came very, very close, and it gets ugly fast because of that. And you're also taking the thorns damage, which is basically 15% of their attack. Other than that, I fired off the special too because I was getting cornered. And Darkhawk, if you hit him, you're going to take damage from when he has that shield up. So yeah, and punishing his heavy is not the easiest thing to do. So he tries to corner me once again. I was able to back up, but because of the thorns damage and the block damage that we're now taking, I am down to 10%. And I was like, oh, I might actually die here. So I try to take, he throws a heavy and then I kill him because of assassin. But yeah, I was down to 2%. That was the closest I came to dying. Had we had the Wags pre-fight like I should have done, that would have been a nothing burger fight. But important to note that. Next up, we have node 34. We have a rank 3 dust. This is a second wind 3, power creep 3, standing in fear defense. And basically all this amounts to is you want shruggers here. She doesn't benefit from any of this. If we're next to her for 3 seconds, she'll gain a fatigue debuff. And then of course, if she shrugs that like 5 times, 3 or 5, I think it's 5 times, then she'll gain a passive unblockable and she'll start to gain power faster. So normally you see skill champions here, such as Atumas or Kingpins used to be very common. But Dust does not benefit from this node whatsoever. And yeah, we're going to just make sure we don't get 4 sand debuffs on us. And we're going to parry like normal. And then we're just going to power control the whole fight. And it's going to be fine while we're ramping up. Now, the reason why I didn't use a Wags on Darkhawk, which I should have again, is because I was planning on taking 3 mini bosses. And I was just going to use the Wags on the mini bosses. Hindsight, I should have used 1 on the Darkhawk. And then just decided not to use 1 on one of the minis because it wasn't absolutely necessary for the minis, but it made me feel more comfortable taking these mini bosses. But you know, that's hindsight. But again, now that I know that, I will 1,000,000% if assigned, at least let them know that I think it's safer to take that node with the Wags. But anyway, moving on, this is my first rank 4 champion ever, and this is node 39, rank 4 onslaught. So yeah, this is on the Rich Get Richer, Steady Perseverance 3, Rich Get Richer 3, I'm sorry, and Footloose 3. So essentially when they throw off a special, they're going to get an unblockable and a evade buff for a duration of time. And then with Steady Perseverance, they're going to become stun immune after they fire off that special for like 8 seconds. So it's heavily in favor of the defender, and it's favoring them who gains more buffs, which we already know is going to be yours truly, Kang, because I have my armor up buff, I have the dexterity buff, and I have my fury buffs that I gain. So the way that I'm going to play this is I'm going to power control. Sadly, once I throw my first special 2, I can't heal from his debuffs anymore. So that's a problem because of those neuro shocks that I'm going to get. And I think they have block pen on here too. So I have to be careful of that. But with my awakened ability, I become more and more of a tank the more power I have. So I actually don't feel too much of that block pen. But yeah, we're taking down from the neuro shocks because we can't heal because we inflict a stun debuff. And when you stun him, he puts on that that debuff. I can't think of it. The name escapes me. But anyway, we took down a decent amount from this. But keep in mind, all of these fights so far were unboosted. If I was boosted, I would not nearly have lost as much health. So anyway, we're going to move on to the next one. But that was my first rank 4. That was a super awesome fight. We have node 40 here. This concerned me greatly. This has obstinate charge 3, stun immune, first attack for any combo basically. It has mixed master, and then it has ticking soul bomb. The ticking soul bomb, basically when you parry 3 times, you'll have 3 fuse charges, which does a passive soul barb on you for 12% of the defender's attack for 20 seconds. I have a lot of buffs. Soul barb is going to hurt a lot, right? And every 15 hits you remove one of the charges. So basically I'm going to allow him to hit my block to help me build up power. I did fully boost for this, just like I would a real war. I did throw on a power start 1 because I wanted to get to my SP2 faster. The only thing I didn't do in this fight that I will do in a war, if I take any defender on this node, is I will be running 5 out of 5 collar tech. That greatly helps out. I think it's 5 out of 5. It might be 3 out of 3. I can't remember. Either way, I will be running max collar tech, which greatly reduces the amount of power that they will be gaining while I'm hitting them. Mixed master, I'm coming fresh off of the last meta, so mixed master is really not an issue for me. Mysterio likes to throw heavies in mid-air. I don't know why, but anyway, I'm holding block to not let him throw his special 1. But here, watch this, watch that. You guys didn't actually see it because it's not zoomed out, but that was 191k special 1 or special 2, excuse me, on the final hit, which I'm actually probably going to let it go down so you guys can see that I'm not lying, because he can hit really hard. That was the second hit of his SP2, which was crazy. But anyway, we have our last node here, node 47. I took this one for you guys last time. This is missing in action 3, return policy 1, false confidence 3. And basically with the false confidence, every 10 seconds, the defender gains a 10-second fury buff. But it'll start to expire when you intercept him. And then it has fight or flight, which is every 12 seconds you gain an unstoppable buff if you're far away from them, but they gain it if you're close by. Now, I apologize for the choppiness of this fight. My phone was getting very hot at this point, so the footage is not as pristine as it should be. And I apologize for that, but I was in the midst of doing this fight and it was looking a little less choppy, I will say, actually, as I was doing the fight, but I guess it didn't convert over that way, sadly. But as you can see, he's going down quite nicely. I think I just end up YOLOing it into the striker, and then I hit him a few times into the special 1, which offs him. Again, I'm very sorry about that. That was very laggy and it was not super clean, but that's the footage that I have now. So yeah, that's the whole showcase, guys. That was everything in a nutshell. Let me know your thoughts. Please like and subscribe. Continue to help us grow. And yeah, if you have any more requests, let me know, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.